What's up, guys? In today's video we got this 2006 Saturn Vue. It has the 2.2 ecotec motor, and we have a problem with the rough idle where when the motor's warmed up and everything and you come to stops and everything, the motor will start to shake and it just idles very rough. So today we're going to be trying to fix that just by there's no check engine lights, by the way, too. So yeah, so today what we're going to do is we're going to clean the throttle body and see if that fixes our issue. So the first thing you're going to do is actually unclip the air filter so you can take off, because we're going to take off the intake in order to get to the throttle body. And then there's a wire that goes to a sensor right here. Just need to unclip that, and you're going to take some pliers, squeeze this clamp, pull this line off, and then there's a hose clamp that holds on the throttle body, or holds the intake onto the throttle body down here, and that's just going to loosen with a flathead screwdriver or an 8mm ratchet with the socket at the end. And yeah, so we're just going to get that off, and then we're going to be able to get a better look at the throttle body. Okay, so as you guys can see, we got this loosened, this hose clamp. We got this fuel line unclipped from this clip right here. We got the vacuum line taken off, this clip taken out, and this is loose, so now we should be able to just pull this off, and we're going to set that aside. So basically in here you can see that right there we have some carbon buildup inside of the throttle body, and so we want to clean that up because there needs to be a small gap there in order for air to flow so that it can idle. And so what can happen is if that builds up and it clogs the air, that'll give you a rough idle because there's no airflow at idle, which basically is the exact symptoms we're going to have right now, where we have no check engine light and we have a rough idle, but it runs fine when we're on the throttle because this is wide open and the airflow is obviously fine. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go get a new toothbrush, and I'm going to use some throttle body cleaner, and I'm going to try and scrub the entire inside of this throttle body. I'm actually going to remove it to clean it, which you don't have to do, but I'm going to do so that none of the debris from that goes into the intake. And also, I'm probably going to spray out my air filter because none of the parts stores are open right now, so I can't really go get a new air filter, but I think my air filter is kind of dirty. As you can see, it's a little dusty, so that's definitely something that can be fixed pretty easily. You just throw a new one in there. But yeah, so basically what I'm going to do is going to get some throttle body cleaner and a toothbrush, and we're going to spray and clean the entire inside of this throttle body and see if that gives us a fix to our rough idle. Alright guys, so we're pulling into Dollar General now just to get a toothbrush to scrub down the inside of the throttle body on this thing. And I'm just going to give you guys an example of the rough idle. So basically whenever I come to a stop, and especially when it's under load, it'll go down to like almost 500 RPMs and the motor starts shaking. So we're going to try and see if we can get that on video right now. Yeah, you can see it's idling really low. You probably want to be around 700 to 800 RPMs. That's probably just over 600 or 500. That's probably like 550 RPMs. And you guys can't tell from the video, but the motor's shaking right now. And oh yeah, you might be able to hear it actually. Yeah, so basically, hopefully cleaning the throttle body will fix this issue. But as you guys can see, no check engine lights on the dash. I mean, I've read it dozens of times trying to figure out what it is. I've also tried to clean the mass airflow sensor. I put spark plugs in it. I've tried dozens of different things. I mean, I cannot figure out why this thing's rough idling. So I really hope that this is the fix. And if you guys are having a similar problem, I think this is what's going to do it, because that carbon buildup is choking the engine, especially at idle. So as you guys can see, I'll turn around the camera real quick. When you rev up the motor, it runs absolutely perfect. There's absolutely no issues. I mean, this thing drives fine. It's just whenever you come to a stop and it's idling and that the butterfly on the throttle throttle body is closed, that's when it's really choking itself out and it does not want to run. A rough idle, but we get on the gas, runs smooth. There's no shake, there's no misfire, absolutely nothing. It runs perfectly fine. So that's why I believe that it's the throttle body being dirty that's causing this issue. So I went out and got some toothbrushes, and actually I just got carbon choke cleaner because I know I'll use it other places. So, and it's basically the same thing. So throttle body cleaner, carbon choke cleaner, same thing. So basically now I'm just gonna remove the 4 bolts that hold on the throttle body. I'm not gonna unclip this just because that clip is super brittle because it's plastic and it's old. So I'm not actually gonna unclip that. But basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spray the brush, scrub the entire inside of this thing. You guys can see it's all dirty. So I'm gonna just show you guys before and after. I'm not actually gonna video me cleaning it because that part's pretty self-explanatory. You can use a screwdriver to pry this open so you can get in there better. But yeah, I'm gonna clean this whole thing out and then I'll show you guys it when it's clean. All right, so as you guys can see, night and day difference. Clean the entire inside of it. Not perfect, but if this is what was wrong with it, this will definitely be good enough to fix our problem. So I did end up taking that clip off, and then of course I lost the plastic part, the gray plastic part that holds it in, so I should have stuck to my word and not taken it out, but it'll still work fine. But yeah, we're gonna reinstall the throttle body. You also want to make sure that your gasket mating surface, where it bolts to the intake, is clean, because if that's leaking at all, that's going to cause a vacuum leak, which is going to make your engine run very poorly. So you want to inspect that gasket and make sure that there's nothing wrong with it. And if there is, you're definitely going to want to replace that because that can be a huge factor in the way your engine runs. All right, guys, so we got the throttle body installed. I found the gray plastic clip that I lost and then plugged everything back in. Everything in here looks clean, and also all in here, everything's looking clean. So we're just gonna reinstall everything. I'll probably throw an air filter on it when I get back to Pennsylvania, because that's where I go to school. But I got a long drive from Connecticut to Pennsylvania tomorrow, and that's why I wanted to try and do this last minute thing, because I've been battling this issue for a very long time, and I really don't like to do long drives with it like this, because whenever I come to stops, I'm scared that the motor's gonna shut off and not want to turn back on. So basically, just gonna put everything back the way it was, clip everything back in, re-clip on air filter and all that, put this fuel line back clipped in here, and then we're gonna start it up, and hopefully we'll see a difference. And if we don't see a difference just sitting in the driveway, I'm gonna take it out for a ride and see if we see a difference. All right, guys, so we got everything properly put together. Make sure that this hose clamp is super tight and everything is attached correctly, because you don't want any factors that can throw off diagnosing this issue. So we're gonna start her up and see if we can see any difference here, and really pray, because we've been battling this issue for a long time. Having a really hard time diagnosing it, but this could be it. Alright, it's burning off all the carb cleaner right now. That's why it just shot up so high. Let's see. The car is not actually fully warmed up yet, so I'm probably gonna want to take it on a drive to see if anything's changed. The idle is starting to fall, but I'm not 100% sure that we'll know if it went away or not until we actually take it on a drive. Because right now it's idling at about 900, and if it drops down to like 800 and stays there, that's about what we're gonna want to see. Somewhere between there, 700 to 900 is what we're really gonna want to see. But when it's dropping down to 600 and even closer to 500, that's definitely not what we're gonna want to see. All right, guys, the motor's all the way warmed up. We're coming to our first stop, and let's see if anything's changed. Seems to be idling better. It's idling at about, oh no, it's starting to drop down. Definitely want to clean out your throttle body if it's dirty and it's skunked up like that. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions down below for what this could possibly be. No check engine light, no nothing. Runs fine, but idling is rough. I've tried cleaning the mass airflow sensor. There's no check engine light, so I'm not really 100% sure what it is. But this was one attempt out of many that I've tried to get this thing to run better. Hope this helps somebody. But this could fix your issue, but in my case it didn't. So if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. And if you have any answers to my questions, leave them down below as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one.